All right, let's get into it. We got the 5060 Ti, 16 gigabyte, and we got it paired with a 14600K CPU. And we're just going to run through it today and see what we can expect at 1080p. We've done the 1440p version. It held up pretty well. I'm suspecting that the 1080p version will do really, really well. And we're just going to keep running through the settings from low all the way up until we might need some upscaling. So we don't need any right now. And then we're just going to keep rolling until we get to, the portion of the test where we might need to do some frame generation. So that's just kind of how I run my tests, just kind of from low all the way up to high. All right, so right here around that roundabout, it drops down to about 130, but that's still good. That's typically where it does drop down a little bit at. So let's go up to the medium settings here. I'm just going to come in here and kind of show you what I got going on. That was run without any sort of upscaling, so we'll keep that the same, and then we're going to turn this off and turn that off. So as you can see, everything is pretty much just bottomed out for the most part, just with medium and medium preset, and then we're still around 133 FPS here. So like I said, I think we're going to be fine. Our PCL is looking about 31 milliseconds, so no complaints there. That's extremely responsive. So we're just going to keep on rolling. And as we go up, I might introduce a little bit of sharpening here and there, just because at 1080p, once you go past about quality upscaling, it starts to get a little bit hazy. But we'll keep an eye on that, and I'll try not to use too much of it, but it does help out a little bit in this game. Particularly, it benefits from the look of upscaling some. All right, so let's just keep on going around here, and that's about 119 is what it dipped down to there. So it drops down around that roundabout, but then comes right back up. All right, so let's just keep going and go to that high setting, turn all this upscaling stuff off. No, we're not even using DLAA, nothing. All right, so let's just come into here, turn that off, turn that off. All right, so there we go. So everything looks pretty good right here at the high setting. And let's just keep on rolling through it. All right, so that's 105 FPS. Definitely a good experience. No ray tracing has been implemented yet, but it still looks really good. I'm going to go back here. This back stretch, I really like to open it up, drop that camera angle down. That looks pretty cool. All right, so yeah, that's 115 FPS. And yeah, it looks really, really nice. Running great. All right, so let's just keep on going through here. Hopefully you guys were able to snag the Black Friday deal on this thing. I think it was like $400 at one point for the 16 gig model, which was pretty good, grand scheme of things. All right, so yeah, here we go. So let's just keep going, and let's see, about 108 FPS. Let's just keep going through this and see what the next setting would be. All right, let's go over here and go to that ultra setting. So we're going to get rid of all that upscaling, keep on coming through here. All this needs to be turned off because it makes it look bad. All right, so there we go. All right, so let's see where we're at. So right here, we are at 96 FPS, and that looks really good. Still around 100. Stretch it out back here. Start to get some traffic back here, which kind of ruins my ability to drive sometimes. All right, let's just keep going. Oh, there it is. First wreck of the video. There will be more, I'm sure. All right, so yeah, that's 103 FPS. All right, let's just keep on going through here, see what we can do to stretch it out a little bit more. Come into here. Let's go to those settings. And let's see, that was ultra. Let's go up to the ray tracing low and see what we can expect there. So we are on super resolution. We need to turn all this off because we don't need it yet. Let's just double check everything. So ray tracing is on, local shadows. Yeah, this will be pretty easy to run. It typically does not stress it out too much. So everything looks good here. Just trying to keep it all consistent. All right, so that gives us 87 FPS, so not that big of a drop at all from ultra. Still looks really good. Let's see what it does around the roundabout. Drops us down about 76. Yeah, so we should be able to get to medium ray tracing without the need for upscaling, which would be pretty cool. All right, just kind of the benefit of, using 1080p still. It's still 50% of people still use 1080p, so it's very much worth the test at, on a card like this. This would probably last you for a very long time on 1080p. All right, so yeah, we're looking about 100 FPS back here on the nice back stretch. Let's go around here. All right, PCL is looking good though, right around 45 milliseconds. All right, so let's jump over here and go to that next level of ray tracing medium. Let's go ahead and turn off the upscaling. No help at all. Let's see here. So this is sun shadows, which gets added in. But let's see here. Let's just go ahead and kick off that vignette, turn that off. And yeah, it looks good. All right, so let's jump into it. Let's see if we got our, yep, everything looks good. All right, so let's jump into it. And this would be ray tracing medium. And we are still right around 60 FPS. So it only dips down below 60 around this obelisk little turn thing here, whatever you call it, roundabout. And yeah, it picks right back up once you get away from it. That's just for some reason a little bit harder to run in that area for whatever's going on over there. But yeah, that ray tracing is starting to look really good. 62 FPS here. I'm going to go ahead and kick it up to quality. I just know that we're going to need it. And you know, I'm just going to see what it does here on this setting as is. I'm going to go ahead and just use that transformer model, kick on the quality. That 0.2 sharpening is good. Let's go ahead and leave that on. All right, so that gets us back up to about 88 FPS, 90 FPS or so. Looking really, really good though. Just going to run through it. All right, slow down. Don't want to cause a wreck and get the cops called on me. That always sucks. All right, so yeah, we are looking really nice here. Holding up on this ray tracing just fine. All right, so yeah, quality DLSS looks really good still. And yeah, it's holding up just fine. We're at 54 milliseconds up there. And yeah, let's jump into that next setting here. So let's check it out. All right, I'm back. I did enable the NVIDIA Reflex+Boost going forward because we might start to get into situation where we might need to use a little bit more, a little bit of frame generation, but it's never hurts to turn that on anyway. So yeah, right here looks good. We're going to run it on Ultra, and then we'll try this Psycho setting that tends to enhance it a little bit without going to that path tracing. So let's just go ahead and check it all out. Turn off all this stuff here, and that looks good. All right, so as you can see, we are on the Ultra ray tracing, transformer model quality, a little bit of sharpening, ray reconstruction is on. All the ray tracing is on except for the Psycho ray trace lighting, and then all that stuff down there is off. So let's jump back into it. All right, so that gives us a PCL of 38 now. So that Reflex plus the boost really does get that PCL back down to a manageable level. Once it gets around 50%, I like to kick that on and get it back under control. 35 milliseconds is awesome. That is a really good PCL. And we are at 70 FPS with basically the highest level of ray tracing outside of the Psycho ray trace lighting, which we're going to turn that on once we get around this obelisk and see how that performs. But yeah, we're looking good. Whoa, don't hit the pole. All right, whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, I really don't want to hit that dude because I don't want the cops to start jumping all over me. That usually ruins the test. All right, so yeah, we are looking about 60 FPS still. No frame generation necessary. Still looks really good. Man, that lighting is looking good. Man, this game just, I say it every time I benchmark it. It has the best ray tracing just of any game. I mean, it's what, like 5 years old now almost, and it still just blows me away with how good the ray tracing and path tracing is. It is just like a showpiece for it. I absolutely love testing path tracing and ray tracing in this title. All right, so yeah, we are looking good here. Let's go ahead and kick on that. Psycho ray trace lighting. Let's kick that up to Psycho. So everything else is left the same. Still quality DLSS, and that gives us 62 FPS here around this roundabout. That'll kind of tell you like how kind of worst case scenario. And then it should pick back up on that back stretch. But yeah, we are around, let's see, whoa, let's not hit that guy. Man, look at the lighting, looking good, looks so freaking nice. All right, let's go around this guy here. And we should pick back up. Yeah, we're in the 70s now. This back stretch is typically a little easier to run for whatever reason, but I really love this area because you get that nice swing of worst case and best case. Oh man, I just tagged him. Let's keep going. All right, I didn't see him. All right, yeah, we're looking like, oh man, see, I told you there's gonna be more wrecks. Absolutely more wrecks. All right, so that gives us still about 65 FPS. Now let's kick on the path tracing. And once we do that, we're gonna probably tank our FPS, but we're going to figure out what it takes to get it back in line. So we were on quality, so let's just leave that there. Reconstruction is on. No frame gen yet. Path tracing supersedes everything, so that eliminates ray tracing and just completely takes over all the lighting systems. So here we go. All right, so path tracing quality DLSS, 1080p. Not bad, really. I mean, honestly, we're at 41 FPS here. PCL's right around 50 milliseconds, so in all actuality, this is playable, and with some frame generation, you would probably be okay. I don't really want to wreck into anyone here, but I love this time of day with this sign. I mean, look at that. Just soak that in. That just looks so freaking good. Man, path tracing looks nice. But I mean, we're in the 50s over here. Now, on this back stretch, that'll kind of give you like a more, typical FPS back here. So, was that about 48? So, picked up a little bit from 45, but I have seen some 50s. So, what I want to do now is just go up on our upscaling just a little bit. Let's kick it up to balanced and see what that does. All right, so that gives us 56, 54, 52 back here. So we might need to go up to performance, or we could just kick on some frame generation, and it wouldn't be too bad. But going to balance gives us our PCL back down to about 39 milliseconds, which is always nice, and it honestly still looks really good. That slight bit of sharpening does kind of improve the upscaling a little bit. And typically on 1080p, I don't like going much past quality, but in cases such as path tracing and Cyberpunk, you might have to go down to performance even. All right, but we are on 60 back here in some parts, so let's do that now. And let's come in here and go to settings. So let's jump it down to performance. So everything stayed the same. We're just going to kick it on to performance DLSS. And now, as you can see, we are back up in the mid 60s and looking really good now. So yeah, I mean, and to be honest, on 1080p, performance still looks pretty good, especially if you're not on like a really giant monitor. If you're on a more suitable monitor for 1080p, those pixels are a little bit tighter, and typically it looks really good. All right, yeah. So here we go. Look at this. This is just like, I mean, literally breathtaking lighting, even on performance, even on 1080p, it just looks so damn good. All right, so yeah, 72 FPS back here. So what I want to do now is go back down to Ray Tracing Ultra and kick on some frame generation. So I'm going to do all that, restart, and come right back. All right, so I have adjusted it to add frame generation. I'll come in here and show you exactly what I've done. All right, so go into graphics, and we have the ultra ray tracing, so not path tracing. We've set it back to quality, and we got our frame generation. We're going to go 2x on that. Of course, ray reconstruction is on. All of this stuff looks the same, except we don't have the psycho lighting yet. We'll check that out before we move forward. But right here, I wanted to just double check what frame generation would do with our PCL. So our PCL is at 43 milliseconds. And we are on ultra ray tracing with ultra lighting, so not psycho lighting yet, but we're going to check that out in a second. But yeah, I mean, you're at 126 FPS here, and you're basically running everything as high as you can get it without going to path tracing. Psycho lighting does do a little bit more, a little bit harder to run, but not by much at all. We're going to check that out next here. So yeah, I mainly just wanted to check out that PCL. And again, I am running the Reflex+Boost, and that does help things out considerably in that department. I definitely recommend using that technology if you can. But everything looks really, really good here, so let's just kick it over to the next setting, and that is going to just simply be coming into here and turning on the Psycho Ray Trace lighting, and let's keep on going. All right, so what does that do for us? That gives us a PCL of about 40 milliseconds still, and we are at 126 FPS, so no big concerns at all. This is an extremely good way to play it. This gives you a base frame rate of about 60 FPS, give or take. With that 2x frame gen, it just gets you nice and smoothed out takes all the rough edges out of it, and gives you a nice smooth experience. But yeah, 114 FPS in a single player, story-based game like this is perfectly acceptable. All right, so let's just keep on going. Let's kick on that path tracing and see what we need to do there. So right here, quality was perfectly fine. You can definitely play with this more, but quality on the Ultra gave us a perfectly good experience. Our PCL was well under 50 milliseconds. So let's just keep going. All right, so let's just jump over here and go to Overdrive. And let's see what quality with Overdrive gives us with a 2x frame gen. So this is path tracing, and check all this stuff, take all that out. All right, so everything is pretty much maxed out here. So we have path tracing enabled, so RT Overdrive, quality, ray reconstruction, 2x frame gen, everything looks good here. So all right, that gives us 80 FPS. Now our PCL is around 60 milliseconds, but we're only on quality DLSS. So if you take that in consideration, that's actually pretty darn good. You've got 55, 56 milliseconds of PCL at times. So the main thing when it comes to doing any sort of frame generation is you just want to make sure that your PCL isn't getting crazy high, like 80, 90 milliseconds. But anything around 50 is perfectly playable. So again, with frame gen, you can just use quality DLSS and get this frame rate looking really, really nice. So this gives us about a 40 FPS base frame rate, but with the NVIDIA Reflex+Boost with frame gen on top of that, it actually keeps your PCL nice and low. I'm going to check it out on balance just to see if we can get that PCL even lower, because it tends to look pretty good on balance still, especially with just a tad bit of sharpening. You want to watch your sharpening though, because you don't want to introduce ghosting. It can exacerbate the effects of ghosting if you have the sharpening algorithm cranked up way too high. That's something I've recently learned, and I've tested it out. It's definitely true. If you want to sharpen it, that's great, but just make sure that you're not introducing more and more artifacts and ghosting. But yeah, this with balanced, your PCL, it was around 48 milliseconds, so we're under 50 with balanced, and that gives you 95 FPS. And yeah, I mean, path tracing is absolutely doable. And I will say that I've had no issues with path tracing at all on the NVIDIA cards with this update. There was a time when path tracing would give even NVIDIA cards a little bit of trouble, such as crashing and whatnot, but I have not noticed anything at all on this most recent updates. However, on the AMD cards that I have tested, they've both, the 9060 XT and the 9070 XT, both crashed at some point with path tracing enabled. So if you want to do path tracing, I would still recommend going green and getting yourself NVIDIA. Maybe one day the Redstone will come out and that'll all be fixed, but hopefully we can get that to happen, because when it comes to path tracing, I don't think there should just be one manufacturer to consider. I would really love to have some competition for NVIDIA to help with these prices. But yeah, we're looking like 97, 96 FPS here. So let's go up one more time to that performance, which is kind of where we left off last time before we switched over to utilize any sort of frame generation. So with performance, you are at about 46 milliseconds, so not much different from quality or balanced. I mean, they both did a little bit, but I don't think that it's like a perceivable amount. I don't think that anyone can really honestly tell the difference on a game like this, what 6 milliseconds feels like. So really you have a choice when it comes to frame generation, because DLSS kind of doesn't matter so much for the frames. It matters more for the response time once you start to frame generate. But again, I would probably just say quality, but I would just put up with like a 56 to 60 millisecond PCL versus like mid 40s, and just be able to enjoy some quality DLSS, because it looks super good. on quality DLSS. It really looks good down to balance, but performance starts to get a little bit grainy, but honestly it's still a beautiful game. So I'm going to go up to that 4X and see what we can expect there. So let's just crank it all the way up, quality with 4X. Let's see what our PCL does now. All right, so that does introduce it a little bit more. However, we are still not much different than 2X. I mean, we're still around low 60s to mid 60s on our PCL. So, you know, I mean, if you wanted to go to 4X, you've got the VRAM to do it, and it doesn't affect the PCL very much at all whenever you have that Reflex+Boost enabled. And everything does look pretty good here. I mean, look at this game. It's just so gorgeous. I love this time of night in this area. It looks really good. But yeah, 164 FPS here on quality DLSS. Now, just to keep things interesting, I'll go down to balance, and let's see what that does for our PCL and our frame rate. So we are about 53 milliseconds with 176 FPS. So yeah, still no complaints. I mean, you're definitely going to be able to play this game however you want to. Oh man, my car has just how do I get out of this thing? Exit the car. There we go. Run, 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 run. Hopefully this thing, is it going to blow up? I don't know. Anyway, we're on the foot game now. All right, so we are looking about 49 FPS here, 48. Yeah, my car just exploded. Sweet. All right, that's a good way to finish the benchmark, I guess. So we're at 175 FPS, 182 FPS. Looks really good over here. So I'm going to kick it over to the very next level. So this is performance with 4X frame gen on path tracing. And we are at 215 FPS with a 45 millisecond PCL. And everything looks pretty good. My recommended setting would probably be quality with as much frame gen as you want to deal with. But yeah, I mean, this has kind of been a good look. I mean, I thought this would be good, but you know, just keep in mind our VRAM allocation and our VRAM used is over 8 gigs. So if you are on an 8 gig version of the 5060 Ti, you would run into issues with these settings. Just keep that in mind. I definitely recommend getting the 16 gig version, but you know, things being what they are, I don't blame anyone for trying to save a little bit of cash. But yeah, we are looking really good here. Yeah, so that's going to wrap it up. I'm just going to end on this scene right here, one of my favorite locations in the game this time of day. And yeah, this has been the 5060 Ti 16 gigabyte 1080p Cyberpunk with the 2.31 update. So I will see you guys in the very next video. Peace.